Little flare, center field, diving, catching, out!
5-4-3 around the horn from the seat.
And he hits a high drive to deep left field, down towards the pole. That ball is up and it is gone!
All right, well, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to this. What are we at here? What happened to January? January's in the books, the February 7th edition of the High Wheelers recap show for local sports here in the Yuba Sutter area. We'll be going over what's happened with Marysville High School, Yuba City High School, boys and girls basketball. We're going to talk about some soccer. Much to the chagrin of Bob Fischetti, we're not getting to curling. We won't be getting to curling right now, but we can always work on it. And one of the treats that we have on today, though, for the first part of the show, and we'll see if we can get him here, keep him here as long as we can, we have Harrison Shapiro joining us on the phone. Harrison, are you here? Can you hear me?
I am here. How's it going, my man?
Oh, it's going well. Nice to hear your voice. You were on the show with us last week. How's it going wherever you're at?
Yeah, I'm sorry I couldn't be there in person this week. I do apologize. I'm down seeing our owners here in the Bay Area, and then I'll be heading back tomorrow, probably right after the Super Bowl. And excited to see you in person again.
Outstanding. Yeah, we look forward to having you back here. Now, typically we would say, well, he's on assignment. That's the radio lingo. Somebody's not here, we say. And I first heard that watching Giants games. Miller would be gone. This is back when Miller used to split time with ESPN doing their shows, and they're always, Miller is John Miller on assignment. And I always wonder what that meant. Just meant he's not here. So you're not even officially on assignment because you're calling in. So we're good to go.
I'm just not physically there with you, so physically I'm on assignment, but mentally I'm right there next to you.
Nice. I'm channeling it right now. So what's the latest with the ball club? Any developments that we've had over the past week?
Oh man, we've been working like crazy. Everything has been great. We're really working on engaging with the community. We're meeting all different types of business leaders, nonprofits, just members of the community, and really hearing them out, what they expect to see out of this new brand announcement that we're going to be doing at the end of next week. So on the 12th, we're going to go live with our the unveiling of the new brand, and then we're going to kind of do the big unveiling at the gala on the 13th.
I can't wait. I mean, that just waiting with excitement for what we have coming up here with the new branding and everything that's going to be going with the ball club. I was going to ask, and I don't know, maybe it's because I'm hungry. There's something they say never to do when you're hungry is go shopping or talk about food on a radio show. But have you finalized the menu yet, or what we can expect at the ballpark?
We are pretty close on finalizing it. We're putting a lot of emphasis this year on expanding the menu, having really consistent, top-notch quality. Both of the standard ballpark fare you'd expect to see at any baseball game. But then we're bringing in some more unique stuff. So like we're working on right now, we're going to bring in street tacos that are going to pair really nicely with the drinks we have over at the bar, and then some other local flavors as well. One thing I'm really excited about are these loaded fries, man. You got to try this. It's just, big basket of fries loaded up with all different types of toppings, and probably more of a fork deal, but oh man.
Oh, that sounds awesome. Now, with that, are we going to be able to, we got all the toppings. They're going to be meat options like chicken or beef or anything we can throw in there, or is it just jalapenos and things like that?
No, man, we're going to have lots of meat options. So, we're going to do some smoked specials. So obviously you can add that to the fries, like pulled pork. One I'm really excited about are cheesesteak fries. So we're going to be having cheesesteaks at the ballpark. And then we're also going to be able to put it on top of French fries.
I mean, you say cheesesteak at the. Are we talking traditional Philly cheesesteak with the bun, the provolone cheese, that kind of stuff?
Yeah, the Amoroso rolls. We're still we might tweak around a little bit here and there, but something very similar, if not the Amoroso rolls. Cheese Whiz is a maybe. I'm thinking maybe we might do like a little bit higher end, like a beer cheese, something fun like that, or provolone. But I'm open to hearing your suggestions. If you're a big Cheese Whiz guy, we can make it happen for you.
Well, so what I got to do is I got to do this intermittent fasting. So it's best to talk to me when I'm close to breaking the fast. That way, I'll have a ton of ideas. Just
Gotcha.
Anything that pops into my head at any given time. For drink options, is this still going to be bottles or bottled drinks, or are they introducing any fountain drinks, anything like that? What's going on there?
Yeah. We're doing fountain drinks, so we're going to switch it over. Which it's honestly not that difficult to make that switch. It's just having enough ice. So that's one thing we're investing in right now is to get a lot more ice machines. So yeah, fountain sodas, draft beers, and then some other really fun drink options that we're going to be announcing soon. That'll be really, really cool and very different from anything you've been able to have at a high winners game before.
Oh, I can't wait. What somebody was asking me the other day? Are there ice cream options like ice cream sandwiches, cones, anything like that, or does that really work with the heat? In that it melts really quickly. What's going on there?
You got to have full treats for that exact reason, man.
Yes.
So if I'm not mistaken, last year there was Dippin' Dots and kind of just prepackaged stuff. I really believe in working with one of the local ice cream shops in town and trying to find a partner, a dessert partner that we can sell their ice cream at the games. It's critical that we provide all types of frozen and cooled options, during the hot summer months while you're watching a game.
How's that going with the sponsorships and with working with the local businesses and folks wanting to not only sponsor but actually be able to provide a product at the game, like a drinks or food or things like that? We getting a lot of buy-in from the general public?
Oh yeah, man. We're getting lots of traction. We've had some really, really productive conversations so far, and obviously taking this opportunity to meet people in the community. And we do have quite a few announcements coming soon with some of the local partnerships we've already made, and then we have a lot more that we're working on. And obviously, a big portion of that, especially when you're working with local businesses, is to try to bring whatever their product offering is into our games as much as possible. So whether that's concessions, whether that's entertainment options, maybe even merchandise. Giveaways. Yeah, we're going to be really integrating the community as much as possible.
I still think we need to get a sponsor for the 3-in-1 count that I've been historically calling the car dealer count, because when it's 3 balls and 1 strike, he's just looking for something to drive, and it happens a lot. I would think that people would want to jump on that.
Yeah, no, I think that's brilliant, and I'm going to put that right up there with the cleanup batter. Got to have a cleaning service with the cleanup hitter.
Yes, the number 4 hitter in the lineup, brought to you by Molly Maids. I'm sure whoever's batting fourth would love that.
Well, we've had a great relationship with Valco Cleaning Services in town. They're just awesome people, and really outstanding members of the community. And so I think I've got to go approach them about being the cleanup spot hitter.
Yeah, I'm sure we could get one of those. Because the thing about baseball is, I used to work for a law firm way back in the day, and they had a choice of getting season tickets to the local minor league ball club or season tickets to the Kings, and they always chose the baseball club because they said, look, if you go there, you actually have the opportunity to sit and talk to somebody. You can talk about your business. You don't want it to be all about that, but you can actually have a conversation, whereas you go to a basketball game, you're in the thick of it, it's loud, you can't really have a discussion.
And it's kind of like the golf course, like traditionally, right?
Oh yeah.
It's a much more like laid back environment. Like there's still plenty of excitement, lots of things to see and do, but you also have that opportunity to kind of lounge, and relax, just enjoy a nice summer evening.
And to that end, I've always thought it'd be kind of cool if we had one of our sponsors. Look, come on up and sit with me in the booth for a half inning. We'll talk about your business in between at-bats and things like that, and maybe get a plug-in for what's going on. That's that.
Oh, we've got to do that.
I just think that would... I mean, you think about it, they do that, and then they have the opportunity to hear themselves, hear it on. They can pick whoever they want in their business. It's probably the most talkative to come in and talk about the business, and then they've got something with audio and video that they can use to their heart's content down the road. I'm happy to facilitate that if that's something you're looking at.
Absolutely, and we're going to be putting the concourse audio, the broadcast audio on the concourse this season as well. So not only will it be going out over the, I guess it's not the airwaves, is it? But you know what I mean.
Yeah.
It'll be on the concourse as well, so it'll be for the fans in ballpark to be able to hear as well. And I would love to take that opportunity too to be able to highlight some local nonprofits as well, like people that are really doing good in the community, and obviously just getting the chance to chat with you is reward enough for them, I'm sure.
Well, benefit, detriment, there's a really close. I don't know if people might not want to put up with me for too much.
That's why a half inning is perfect.
Yeah, just a half inning. That way they know, huh? I don't have to stay here for another 3 outs, right? Okay, we're good. We're good to go. Talk to me about housing for the ball players and stuff. When do you really start? When's the earliest somebody can put in and say, yeah, I want to house a ball player? Are you taking those yet? Or are you looking for a start date where folks can throw their hat in the ring to provide housing for these ball players?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, the search has already begun. We're out talking to as many people, trying to spread the word as much as possible. Obviously on our website, you're able to get in touch with us if you're interested in being a host family. But we'll be looking all the way up through to the start of the season. Generally speaking, we bring in quite a few more players for spring training than we actually keep for the, it's only a 25-man roster. We'll probably bring in about 30 to 33 guys. So obviously we need a place to be able to put them for the 10 days of spring training. And then, same type of deal. It comes with season tickets and a bunch of other really fun perks as well. So, yeah, no, and you get to be a part of the High Wheelers family.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, they have not only part of the family, that gives them an opportunity to actually bond with a ball player. I think there was somebody with a ball club last year was talking about how her family, and it might have been Rachel, talking about how her family housed ball players when she was growing up, and those became new big brothers for her and maintained those relationships for the rest of their life.
Yeah, she would say that she still talks to them, and it's kind of what got her started in the industry as well, being in minor league baseball. I mean, all of us have a really unique touch point with baseball throughout our history that, makes it evocative of either our childhood or just really fond memories. And it's just really special that she got to be in such an intimate level early on. I think that's really special. We'd love to be able to provide that for other families here in town.
I think that'd be outstanding. Have you had a chance at all to take in any of the local high school basketball games, soccer, anything like that, or follow any of the local teams?
I've been following it online. Unfortunately, I've been so busy, I haven't really had a chance to go out and do much at all. I feel like I'm missing out on some of the really fun, cool things to do in town. But soon, once we get a little closer into season time, I'll be able to get out and explore. But I've heard just unbelievable things about the local sports going on right now from you mostly.
Yeah, it's pretty incredible. I mean, we've got, I think the team that's really knocking it out of the park. One of the things that I was looking at was Lyndhurst High School. Their girls basketball team, if I'm not mistaken, I think is undefeated. And
oh my God,
they've just been really taking it to task here this season. But I've been able to make it out to a couple of basketball games over at Yuba City High School, the boys basketball. And I'll tell you, you always want to see them win and stuff like that, but you just can't really. It's hard to describe the atmosphere at a high school event because there's just a lot of energy there with the kids cheering on the players and the guys on the field. And the thing is, I've gone to a lot of pro sporting events, and you kind of seem to lose some of that energy that you get at an amateur event. But I noticed that when I went to High Wheelers games and being there was still sort of almost that amateur sporting event energy at the ballpark, like what you feel when you go to a high school event.
Yeah, and it's so funny because baseball can be quite different in that way. Where, like you mentioned earlier, it's a little bit more of a casual viewing experience, I would say. But if you're able to build up that excitement, not just through the what happens on the field with the players, but in between innings, and there's always something to do and something fun to look at, something to eat. It really helps to maintain that energy throughout the night, and you start to get some atmospheres that feel a little bit more collegiate or amateur, which I think ultimately we would all agree is a more exciting experience overall.
Exactly, because, and I think you and I have talked about this a lot. in terms of the fan experience. And when they leave, people are going to maybe remember the score. They're maybe going to remember a play, something here, something there in the game. They might remember that. What they absolutely will remember is how they felt, how it made them feel at the conclusion, or while they were there, or at the conclusion of the event. And I was at the basketball game last night over at Yuba City High School, and I can't really tell you specific events that happened in a game, and I remember a play here and there, but I remember how I felt being there, taking it all in, and just people watching, seeing everything going on. And I think that when people come out to the ball club over the summer, they're going to be able to walk away with that same feeling of excitement.
Yeah, and it's not like you need to have followed the team all season long, or or even really just be a big fan of baseball. It's about building an experience around a baseball game, and to that point, I know I sound like a weirdo every time I bring up the smells of a ballpark, but they often say smells are the most evocative for memory, and that's why I just firmly believe that having the smell of grilled hot dogs and popcorn and all these great elements, the fresh cut grass, for example, these elements of a baseball game, for me, it brings me back to my childhood, and it'll create lasting memories for all of our fans that come to games this summer. Isn't
that amazing how? I think you and I talked about this last week. Smell is the sense, and you alluded to this right just a second ago. Smell is the sense of smell is the one most tied to memory. And I think it's because I heard somewhere that the memory center of the brain is really close to the sensory receptors for the sense of smell. And we can get into all the biology; it doesn't really matter.
Okay.
But you do that, and was it you that was telling me that that's part of the philosophy of Disneyland? When you walk in and you have those smells and everything just hits you right up front, and then you're just sucked in as a result of that. But it starts with what you can smell and feel about the experience.
Yeah, that's right. And they actually offer courses, too, that kind of teach, and it's more generalized to sort of event management as a whole, but they offer courses that really teach you all about that. And again, they don't get into the specifics of, this is how you run a theme park or this is how you run a baseball game. This is how you just run an event, right? And that event is centered around an activity. But ultimately, everything you do around that activity, it's not necessarily correlated, right? And you have to be able to look at it from a different lens. So we're putting a lot of emphasis this year on trying to build our own little mini Disneyland wrapped around the baseball game.
That is outstanding. And are there going to be activities? Look, 9 innings, sometimes it's a little difficult to ask an 8-year-old to sit in their seat for a full 9-inning baseball game, or the young ones. Are there going to be activities there for the kids to engage in throughout the course of a baseball game so that the folks can watch and I guess watch and let their kids run around with the safety of knowing that they're taken care of, everything's okay?
Yeah, we're going to have a dedicated kids zone with lots of games. We're looking at bringing in some water elements as well, like a splash pad or something like that to, help keep them cool and again, provide a safe experience where they're able to run throughout the ballpark and have a great time and eat some good food. That's going to be a big part of it. And then we're also bringing in some other fun activities, and, maybe this is a little premature to bring up at this point, but I'm sure that they wouldn't mind. There's some great guys over at the Clubhouse, which is a golf simulator that just opened up in downtown Marysville.
Oh, yeah.
We've been talking to them about bringing out, they have a portable TrackMan system with a projector inside of like an inflatable cage thing, and being able to set that up on the concourse and let, kids come out and hit the ball, and it reacts in a very realistic way. And so, things like that all throughout the course of the season. We want to be bringing in as many local businesses with fun activities that provides things for fans to do when they're not just watching baseball.
You talk about let the activities for the kids. You bring that golf simulator out there, and I envision a scenario where around the third inning, there's a voice doing play-by-play nobody recognizes because Todd Kuhnen is on assignment down at the golf simulator.
He's on assignment. Why isn't he in the press box? He's on assignment.
Well, he's. You know what? Even in the virtual golf, he has a wicked slice.
Well, I thought it was fun. Yeah,
Go ahead.
Go for it.
I was going to say he sliced the ball into Fischetti Cove virtually. How did that happen?
We'll have to have have it programmed in so we can have a digital representation. I've been thinking of, just some fun ideas, and again, this is pretty early on in the development, but we're definitely going to be doing something like this. TGL is the new thing right now in golf where they play virtual golf. The pros play indoors. Well, I was thinking we could do something very similar on our field because we could hook it up to the video board and be able to do simulated golf on the field tied directly to the video board and, really create like a fun atmosphere. And again, not just golf, but like really all sports. If we could host flag football out in the outfield with using the camera that goes up to the video board, it's like kind of that integration of the technology to make these amateur and, co-ed games, but give it a more professional feel.
That would be awesome to be able to do that. And you're out there actually on the field with the video board there playing golf or like you said, doing flag football. I think that if you started doing that, you'd be having to turn people away because there'd be such an influx of folks that want to take advantage of that.
Well, I sure hope so, man. That would be the goal.
Yeah. I don't know how long we have you here for the show today, because I think that Bob, when we were getting this set up before he had to take off to, I don't know what's more important than talking sports, but apparently he had somewhere he had to be. So I just wanted to make sure I just wanted to make sure I wasn't encroaching too much on your time here.
No encroachment. I do have to get going here in just a little bit, but I can always carve out a couple extra minutes for you, Todd.
I appreciate that. Well, we were going to go ahead and get to some of the happenings here. We've got a lot going on as the high school basketball leagues start to wrap up their seasons here, and it's interesting. You would think that Marysville and Yuba City High School would be playing in the same league, but they're not. Marysville, what do we have over here? Marysville over in the Pioneer League, and Yuba City is over there in the Foothill Valley League, Pioneer Valley League and Foothill Valley League, even though they're right across the river from each other. That always kind of perplexed me. I went to Yuba City High School growing up, and we never played Marysville. Right across the river, but we never played Marysville in sports.
Yeah, that is really odd.
Yeah, and I suppose it ranks right up there with the oddity of, let's see, Yuba City is not in Yuba County. That seems like it would make sense, but it didn't happen. Yuba City is in Sutter County, and Marysville is the county seat for Yuba County and stuff. But it's what makes us unique, right?
That's right. It's the Yuba Sutter region as a whole, man.
Yeah. So we're going to go ahead and get here to the sports stuff here. I don't know if this is a good time to let you get on out of here and stuff, but I really appreciate you taking time to be on the show here with us today and talking high wheelers, soon to be branded baseball, and
Yeah, well, keep an ear out, everybody, and thank you so much for having me, man. It's always a pleasure talking with you, and I look forward to doing it a lot more here in the near future.
Likewise, Harrison. You take care. Have a great day.
All right, you too.
All right, we'll see you. So let's take a look at what's going on here with the local sports scene and where we got to. Last night, made it out to the Yuba City High School varsity basketball game. That was obviously over in Yuba City, and I immediately pulled up the Yuba City soccer. Where are we looking at? Here we go. Here's boys basketball. Let's see where Yuba City's at right now. In the Foothill Valley League, so far in the league, Yuba City is in league play. They're 3-7. They're 11-15 overall. And last week, they lost one last night. Last night, who'd they play? They played Del Campo last night. And they ended up losing that game. But previously in the week, if I take a look at my handy-dandy little score sheet here, they played River Valley earlier. They played them back on the 4th. They ended up winning that game 50-46. Close game. Last night lost to Del Campo 78-60. But just taking a look down here, over the last 4 games, they are 1-3 over the last 4. Tough losses. And the one that really gets me, and it was just a crushing loss, was 12 Bridges. That was back on the 30th, and they lost that one on the last shot of the game. They were ahead 60-59, and 12 Bridges ended up hitting a layup as time expired, and that just kind of took the wind out of their sails. I look at my assistant here. Mason, were you at that game with me?
Which game is this?
This is the 12 Bridges game. It wasn't last night. It was a week ago yesterday.
I was not. No.
That's right. You were, I don't know, doing something that was very important. I don't know, washing the dog or something like that.
Yes, our very existent dog.
Yes, washing the dog that we don't have. But, so last night they ended up losing to Del Campo 78-60. But I believe the girls basketball team for Yuba City was able to come away with a victory. Let me take a look at that here. Last night, I think that Yuba City, as I go through my sheets here, yes, they did come away. They had a 54-41 win. And Bob Fischetti, when he was here, we were talking about last week, was it the girl from Faith Christian that set a record for three-point shots? And Bob was letting us know that one of the basketball players, I believe, for Yuba City High School just scored a full-ride scholarship to Cornell. So a lot of folks looking at stuff here in the Yuba Sutter area, Yuba City girls basketball on the season. If I take a look at their record, so far they are in fourth place with a 6-4 record in league play. Overall, they're 13-13. They're riding a 2-game win streak. I don't know if anybody's going to catch Placer High School. Take a listen to this, Mason. 24-2 on the season, Placer High School.
Ouch.
Yeah, they're getting it done. They got a 12-game winning streak, and they're 10-0 in league play. So it goes Placer, Nevada Union, 12 Bridges, and then Yuba City High School girls basketball. So shout out to the girls basketball team over there. Jaslyn Casolis, Anik Gosal, Michaela Garcia, Christiana Nicoletti, Avery Barr, Tara Beltran, Salali Cortez, Kylie Soto, Abigail Hallett, Siahas Dami, Ali Campbell, Larissa Myers, and Bridget Lavey, and they're led by Willie Burns over there. So Yuba City High School basketball really getting it done there for the girls basketball team. I'm going to take a look here to see who the high players were last night. Just taking a look down here, it looked like the high point was the high point person, the one who had the highest number of points. I can't speak. Three tied with the highest minutes. So you had Jaslyn Casolis, Cortez, and Ali Campbell. All three logged 20 minutes in the ball game, with Campbell being the high point leader at 10 points last night. She had a field goal percentage of 50%, and Casolis had 9 points. So really close behind there with, who do we have here? Two tied at 6 points each, Dami and Nicoletti. So the girls last night were able to take down the Del Campo Cougars. And then earlier in the week, girls basketball, boy, they really took it to River Valley, 54-27. That was an unbelievable game in terms of points. And let's take a look here, see who was the high point. Casolis and Cortez both had 14 points each for the Honkers. Both also logged 17 minutes in that ball game. So girls basketball, 2-game win streak. Come over here and take a look at what the boys did last night. I mean, they lost last night, but I'll tell you, I go out to this ball game. Xavier Armstrong, I don't remember if you remember him, Mason, number 12 for the Yuba City High School basketball team. He comes in about 6'2". He plays like he's 6'9", 6'10". He's just is a monster on the boards, and really seemed to get at it last night, really taking it to the other ball club.
I didn't catch most of the varsity game, but the JV game that we came into for the last quarter?
Yeah.
That was pretty crazy. It was very close.
Yeah, it went into overtime. Tie ball game at the end of regulation, went into overtime, and then the Yuba City Ball Club looked like they had a little bit of trouble scoring points in the overtime period. But Yuba City High School, though, led by Sukhjit Sahota at 11.7 points per game, but you got Sahota, Travis Lamelli, and Javier Rai are the top 3 point scorers for the honkers in terms of average, with Sahota at 11.7 points per game, Lumeli coming in at 11.3, and Javier Rai at 10.4 points per game. But I'm not surprised to see the rebounds. Armstrong averaging 4.6. Lumeli again. Lumeli's just getting it done on both sides. He's second in the team in points per game at 11.3. He's second in the team with rebounds at 4.6. He is first, leads the team at 3 assists per game. And what's the other one here? Field goal percentage. He's shooting 45%. So almost half the shots he puts up find the basket, which is pretty good when you have somebody on your ball club that can log those kind of numbers. Then we've got Armstrong again. This is a nice stat. He's averaging 1 block per game. I was telling you, he plays like he's about somewhere between 6 and 10 inches taller than he really is.
6 and 7 inches?
Just don't go there. I knew as soon as I started to say 6 and 7, you were going to say something about that.
You shouldn't have told me you'd be talking to me.
I know. Last week, the Honkers played the Falcons, River Valley boys basketball. They ended up beating River Valley 50-46. Give a shout out to the high point leaders for Yuba City High School. But we'll also talk about River Valley since they are a Yuba Center area team as well. So River Valley and Yuba City High School fighting for bragging rights. And, you put the records, that just kind of goes out the window when those two teams are playing each other. The River Valley and Yuba City are both in the Foothill Valley League for basketball. River Valley, notwithstanding the fact that they're having a tough season. They're 5-21 overall, 0-10 in Foothill League play. Yuba City is 3-7 in league play, 11-15 overall. But look, they're struggling, but when they play each other, it's bragging rights for Yuba City, right? So here you got Yuba City taking that one 50-46, and the point leader, Sukhjit Sahota, at 14 points a game, but shocker, Travis Lumeli at 12 and Javier Rai at 12 points in that game. And so, both those guys getting it done there. Over on the River Valley side, it looked like Trendon Bishop was the point leader at 17 points for that game, with Sivak Mundy coming in at 14 points. Mundy shooting 55%, 50% field goal, and Lendon right around 46%. So an interesting game there with the two of them. I want to see the stat down here about I'm looking for rebounds here to see how many rebounds Armstrong would have gotten, and that stat is eluding me on this stat sheet. I'll have to talk to tech to see what we can do there about that. Mason, you're not my tech guy, are you?
I could try.
Yeah. Way to phone it in there, buddy. So that's Yuba City High School, a recap of Yuba City High School basketball. Next week, had their schedule up here. It looks like, I believe they play Placer High School next week. Placer High School on the 11th, and Nevada Union, they play on the 13th. And so the Placer High School game is an away game. Nevada Union will be played at Yuba City. Those are going to be interesting contests. The Placer High School ball game, Placer is coming in. They're 23-3. That's going to be a tough matchup for them. 23-3 overall, 8-2 in the league. So Yuba City's got their work cut out for them when it comes to Placer High. Nevada Union is right ahead of Yuba City in the standings. They're 5th in the league. Yuba City is 6th. So they got a lot on their plate coming up for next week for Yuba City High School. Taking a look over at, see if I still have the girls' basketball schedule in front of me. And I think the girls' basketball, they'll be playing the same, Placer High School and Nevada Union. So I just got a notice here. Oh, that's the time. Okay. I was wondering why you were giving me hand signals. But let's take a look at Yuba City High School boys soccer. We're going to get over to Marysville here in just a second. Boys soccer for Yuba City High School. They were going last week. Yuba City again in the Foothill Valley League. Yuba City is third in the league in soccer. Right now they've got a 6-7-3 record, 6 wins, 7 losses, 3 ties. They're riding a 2-game winning streak for that. And right now, let's see, who do we got here? Take a look at the last 2 games. They took on Del Campo last, what was the 4th? The 4th was that Tuesday? Was that a Tuesday, Mason?
I'm going to look it up. Don't get your phone. Hold on.
Okay, I'm looking. No, it was Wednesday. It was Wednesday. Here I got
Quicker to
all
the
the
draw
stuff
here.
going on,
Yeah.
and I get to the calendar before Mason does. Kudos. Bragging rights make you pay for dinner. So they took on Del Campo on Wednesday night. They had a 3-2 victory over Del Campo. That was at Yuba City High School. And then they played Placer High, and it was 3-1, another victory against Placer High School last night in league play. Taking a look at where the standings are. So who did I say they played? They played Del Campo. Del Campo, well, they're struggling this year. 0-11 in league play. They're 3-15-1. They have a 9-game losing streak. The Honkers added the 9th game in that losing streak. But when you look at Placer High School, Placer is right behind Yuba City in the standings. So actually they're tied in league play, both 5-4-2. And in overall play, though, Placer has a better win percentage than Yuba City High School overall. They're 11-4-2, but it's the league totals that matter for the Foothill Valley League. And but overall they're 11-4-2. Yuba City High School was 6-7-3. Let's see what happened here. It was a 3-1 game. Let me bring up this stat sheet, see what it looked like. Who were the high scorers for Yuba City? It was, in terms of the scoring after the first period, Placer High School had a 1-0 lead after the first half. Second half, those when Yuba City scored 3 goals, came away with the 3-1 lead. And the nice thing is if you go over to Max Prep, you can actually, if you subscribe, but you can catch the video for these games, so you can actually watch that. Back in my day, I played soccer at Yuba City High School my freshman and sophomore year. Wasn't really good enough to continue after that, but there was no video. You didn't get to watch the games, and soccer was actually a fall sport. I don't know when it became a winter sport here, but Alan Gonzalez, let's see here. Yeah, so Gonzalez for Yuba City, how many goals did he have? This is Gonzalez is the team leader at 3 goals. I'm looking to see who scored the goals in the game, and again have to talk to the tech guy because they didn't give me a sheet that actually showed who scored what. But Yuba City comes away with that victory. And on the girls' side for Yuba City High School, what do we got here? Yuba City's having a tough season this year for girls soccer. Tough season. In league play, they're 0-10-1. So they're in last place in the Foothill Valley Girls Soccer League. They're 7-17-1 overall. And Yuba City High School will play, I think Nevada Union is the next game, and that might be the final game of the season for Yuba City High School in terms of soccer, both the boys and girls soccer. The boys play Nevada Union on the 9th, which is in 2 days. So that's Monday at 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock, and that will be at Yuba City High School. So yeah, I may try to head out there to take in that game. What about you? You're just making fun of the fact that I said what? I said it was at 6, and then I said it was at 7?
Yeah.
So now it's 6-7? Is that what we're doing?
It's drilled into my brain at this point that I can't not laugh at it. But I'll probably go with you to the game.
You'll go with me to the game there?
Yeah, well,
good.
Trying to fend off my mind against the 6 and 7 joke that's been plaguing our youth.
It'll be nice to have a travel companion for the game, since you do sit as the engineer on this show. Maybe you can throw back some stuff for me here, right?
Yeah, maybe I could help out the tech guy and get you your.
So yeah, they do play Nevada Union, and here's the thing. So both Yuba City High School, both boys and girls played Nevada Union on Monday, but for the girls' soccer, they play Nevada Union at Nevada Union starting at 7. And Yuba City High School boys, they play at 7 o'clock, and that will be at Yuba City High School. So, yes, we will go over and see if we can score some tickets. Maybe you can see if you can score us some tickets on the sly or something like that so we can go in and see. You might have a better in than I do.
No, I don't think I do.
Okay,
not
all right.
Not anymore, but I'll see what I can do.
I'll see. Yeah, it's the infamous I'll see what I can do. All right.
I'll go in there and scan that QR code for you. Don't worry.
Yeah. We'll just go ahead and try to get that done for us. Let's take a look at Marysville High School. Marysville, this is the one that's really, I love watching Yuba City High School basketball and stuff, but in terms of teams that are really having a great season this year, let's take a look at Marysville. Marysville playing in the Pioneer Valley League. As I take a look right now, Oakmont is in the league. Of course they're in the league, Todd. Come on, get it together. Oakmont leads the league. In league play, they're 11-1. And they're followed by Colfax, which is 10-2. And then Marysville is also 10-2. So let's see what happened here. Marysville High School. Marysville High School, they're led by Stan Easter. He's their head coach. Got Jordan Witt, Isaiah Henry, Debbie Perez, Stephen Martin, Tegan Jung, Jamal Pete, Carter Ellison, Zachary Granger, Andrew Salguero, Noah Magdaleno, and Dylan Pruitt. And I'm looking at this here. So when I was in high school, back in my day, our senior, our center, the big guy, was 6'4". We didn't have a very big class here. I'm looking at some of the guys here. Dylan Pruitt, 6'7". Zachary Granger, 6'6". My high school basketball coach would have loved to have a guy that was 6 feet 7 inches long, notwithstanding the fact that we have to say yet again, what? 6'7". It's just killing you.
You're trying to make me say it now. I was in remission until you made me say it.
In remission. Nice.
For about 5 minutes.
Nice here. All right. So Marysville High School. Let's take a look at what they did last week. Marysville, they had 3 games last week. They played Lincoln at Lincoln. They took that one pretty handily, 81-64. And then they played Center over in Antelope. That was played they played Center, but they didn't play in Antelope. And Center came from Antelope to Marysville. It was 86-67. So 3 games, they win the first 2. What was that
What
score?
is going on with all these 67s?
I don't know. It was
What is going on?
86-67, and Mason can't keep it together. So, but then they took on Oakmont. Now that was the big one. Taking on Oakmont at Oakmont, going into the game. What was it? That would have been Oakmont at the time would have had a 10-1 record, and Marysville would have been 10-1. So they were both tied at 10-1 going into that game. That was for league play. And unfortunately for the Indians, Oakmont won that game. It was 57-51. I note that there is no 6 in either of those scores. So 57-51. So tough game to drop that one. Let's go ahead and take a look at the top scorers for the game there. For the Indians, had all of this laid out here, and then somebody sneezed on my papers. I got to talk to the tech guy about that. So I had a box score here for this, and somehow I have lost that. So Let's take a look at the team leaders for the Marysville Indians. Stephen Martin, team leader. He has 19.7 points per game is what he's averaging. Zach Granger, not surprising, Granger came in. How tall was Zach Granger? I'm surprised you don't remember that, Mason.
Let me guess. Was he 6'7"?
Oh, wow. Shocker. Zach Granger would be 6'6".
Oh.
As Dylan Pruitt was 6'7".
Oh, okay.
But Zach Granger, 7.4 rebounds per game. Devi Perez at 5.6 assists per game. Stephen Martin at 4.3 steals. And Granger, again, leading the team in blocks. But they just were unable... They were unable to come away with the victory against Oakmont. Take a look here. After one, it was 14-10 Oakmont after one. It was 29-23 after second period. And then Oakmont went ahead. 29 plus 19 would be 39, 48 to, quick math here, Mason, 48-40 at the end of three, and then 57-51. So Marysville, at the end of each quarter, they were trailing the whole way, but season's not over. It's almost over, but I would imagine that the Indians will be looking at Oakmont, hopefully getting into the playoffs, see if they can do some damage once they get into the playoffs against Oakmont. That's just a tough loss there for them. Quite different than, say, what took place against Lincoln. It's interesting, Marysville, when Yuba City plays a team from Lincoln, they're playing 12 Bridges. Marysville plays a team from Lincoln, they're playing the Lincoln High School Fighting Zebras. And so you got both teams in or near the same city with Yuba City and Marysville, and then you've got Lincoln and 12 Bridges, but Lincoln and 12 Bridges not in the same league, Yuba City and Marysville not in the same league. Kind of interesting. You'd like to see the crosstown rivals, right? Wouldn't you like to see crosstown rivals?
I would love to see the crosstown rivals.
I know that you're just, you couldn't wait to hop on and say that. Let's see, the Marysville Indians also took on the Center Cougars last night, and the score there was 86. What was the Cougar score, Mason? 86 to what? If you just had to guess, what do you think I would call on you to say the Cougars score was?
Just say it.
67? Okay, it's 86 to 67.
Yeah, that number.
So that was the that was the result of the game there for the Cougars and the Indians. But taking a look over at girls basketball, let's see what the Marysville High School girls did this last week. Marysville High School girls are tied for second with Colfax in Pioneer Valley League play. Oakmont is 11-1. Colfax and Marysville both tied at 10-2. And let's take a look here. Last week, the Marysville High School Indians split the week. Well, actually, no, they had 3 games last week. They lost to Lincoln 51-35, and then they beat Antelope Center High School in Antelope 70-52. But then they too ended up dropping a game to Oakmont 55-41. So tough loss there for Marysville High School. Going into that, I mean, those 2 losses looks like the first 2 losses of the season for the Marysville High School girls basketball team in league play. They would have been 9-0 going into the week. They end up finishing the week at 10-2. So they've got some work cut out for them. Next week, on the 11th, they play Bear River in Bear River High School in Grass Valley, and then they play at Colfax. That's on February 11th and February 13th. Both of those are away game. Both of those games start at 6:30. So, just wishing well to the Lady Indians, the Marysville Indians girls basketball team, hoping that they are able to get it going and finish the season on a high note in regular season play. Taking a look over at boys soccer, coming up on the end of our show here. Want to cover boys soccer. Marysville boys soccer. Let's take a look at what they were able to do this last season. They came in. They are 5th in the league in Pioneer Valley League play. 4-8-1 on the season. They are 6-12-2 overall, but 4-8-1. And last week, see who they played. Ooh. Where's Bear River at in the stands? Bear River. Oh, okay, that makes sense. Bear River is 0-13. 0-13-1 for Bear River, and the Indians played Bear River, and the Indians did not have apparently any trouble with that game, as they won the game 7-0. But then they played the Colfax Falcons, and Marysville ended up losing that game to the Falcons 2-0. Let's take a look at where the Falcons set in the stands for boys soccer. Well, that's a tough loss. That's a tough loss because Marysville's 5th in the league at 4-8-1. Colfax is 7th. There are 8 teams in the league. Colfax is 7th. They are 3-11, but that one of those 3 wins came at the expense of the Marysville Indians, so that's got to sting a little bit. Did you play soccer growing up, Mason?
Outside of PE, no.
Outside of PE, no.
Except when I was forced to. No, not.
Who would have forced you to play soccer?
Really need me to answer that question?
No. We don't need that answered on the air. Let me take a look here. See what's going on. There we go. I knew I had their schedule coming up. So Marysville, like I said, they played Bear River on the 3rd. That would have been last Tuesday. They won 7-0. Then they played 2 days later up in Colfax against the Colfax High School, and ended up losing that one 2-0. Their next game, it looks to be maybe the final game of the season, is on the 10th. So that would be next Tuesday, 6:45 p.m. here in Marysville. So if you wanted to take in a soccer game, you could go watch the Marysville Indians take on Oakmont. That is at 6:45. And Oakmont, not surprisingly, 3rd in the league. They trail Miraloma and Lincoln in the standings, 3rd in the league at 9-3-1. And Oakmont riding a 5-game winning streak. They'll be taking on the Marysville Indians in the final game of the season there in soccer. And that will take us to our final sport to cover in this section. Didn't get to Lyndhurst High School. I wanted to save Lyndhurst. We're going to talk about Lyndhurst High School girls basketball in particular next week. Lyndhurst, I believe, is undefeated in girls basketball, and that's pretty dominant. We're actually going to try talking with Bob Fischetti. We're going to reach out, try to get the athletic director for Lyndhurst High School on the show here to talk about all things athletics, as well as the athletic director for Yuba City High School. The goal of this show is to actually get all of the ADs and coaches and everyone on the show. If you're listening to the show, you can make your suggestions on Facebook. This show will actually be uploaded to Facebook. It'll show. You'll be able to see that, and you can watch the show on Facebook. Feel free to make your comments there, or you can send direct messages, things you'd like, especially if we're mispronouncing a name. Good heavens, please let me know. I don't want to mispronounce anybody's name, but we want to make sure that all of the local sports are covered. Marysville High School girls soccer. Let's take a look at what they did. We'll be wrapping up. They took on Colfax and Bear River last week, and much like boys soccer, they won the Bear River game 5-0, and then they went to Colfax and ended up dropping that one 9-0 up in Colfax. And like the boys soccer, the last game of the season for the Indians will be on the 10th, next Tuesday, here in Marysville, taking on Oakmont. So a shout out to the girls soccer team. Looking forward to seeing what they can bring that's one of the games that we're going to try to make it out to see. I'll see if I can drag Mason out to the game. I know that he just can't wait. But that's going to do it for us here for the sports show brought to you by High Wheelers Baseball. Special shout out and thanks to Harrison Shapiro for joining us at the top of this show. And we look forward to having more folks on. And maybe at some point in time, we can also get some guests, like to get some student athletes on to talk about their sports. We'll be diving into baseball here shortly. The baseball season will be starting up. I was able to talk to one of the ball players for Yuba City High School last night when I was at the game. They're looking forward to their season coming up. They'll be defending their championship that they won last year. So for everybody here at 93Q, I'm Todd Kuhnen. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next week, 4 o'clock here. See you later, everybody.